Hi, my name is Virginia Garner. I go by Christy Garner, which is my middle name, and I am a vocal music teacher in the Hazelwood School District. I teach at Barrington Elementary, so I'm K through 5. And my favorite website that I use for my students is called Pro Music Lab. Chances are you've heard of it, or maybe you've even experimented with it. It is a wonderful set of different activities and concepts. And what I love about it is not only is it readily available, you don't need a program, you don't need special downloads or special tools. If you have any kind of device that'll play Flash, you are good to go. And the other thing is it's so versatile. So a lot of programs in music, they are geared toward either specific concepts like note names or read rhythms or form, or they're geared towards specific grade levels, like, they're for younger students, primary, K1, or they're for older students, middle school, 3 through 5. This actually has stuff that I would say, if I goes all the way from kindergarten, I would say up through middle school to high school, some of these things I definitely would not do some of these in elementary. I think they're just a little bit too complicated. So I'm going to show you, or try to show you, a couple of these. This is Kandinsky. So Kandinsky was an artist, and he actually used lines and shapes and circles to represent different notes and pitches and instrument families. So if you just do a line, you're going to hear a string sound. And the higher that you draw the line on the screen, the higher the pitch. The bottom of the screen, or the farther down you go on the screen, the lower the pitch. And you can make the line short or long. You could actually even just make a big squiggle, and it'll still look like that. Now, if you want a voice, all you have to do is make a circle. See how it turned into a different color, and it now has eyes, so that's actually going to be a voice. I'm going to put one inside the circle. See how that, and once again, the higher the circle, the higher the pitch. The lower the circle, the lower the pitch. The last one is really hard to do when you can't see the cursor, but I'm going to try. It's a triangle, and triangles are rhythm family, so the higher you draw the triangle, if you don't do it exactly perfect, there it goes. It'll turn into a string sound. So if it's light green, it'll turn into a percussion sound. And the higher percussion sounds are going to be like bells or cymbals, and the lower percussion sounds are going to be more like bass drums or timpanis. So that was about a snare drum, and that one was more like a bass drum. So I've got some stuff on here. I'm just going to make like one more squiggle, like all across the thing. When you've got kind of what you want, and you can honestly just let your kids, you can tell each one of them to practice, come up and practice drawing either a wavy line, a circle, or a triangle. And then when you're done, they can listen to their creation. When they're done with that, if they want to hear, you can actually take it and change timbres. All you got to do is pick a different set of colors, and suddenly you're listening to a new piece. So I think that this is amazing because it'll actually give them a whole new perspective on it, because that piece sounded nothing like the first one. So you can talk about the difference of how the exact same quote squiggles or artwork or notes can be a completely different song based on the timbre, the instruments that you use. So that's a quick one for kindergarten. Sorry. And then I'm going to show you the rhythm one just because it's very cute. You can use it. You could use it as early as kindergarten, but I probably wouldn't. I don't use it until first grade. First and second grade is really where I use this. So you'll see these little guys. There's a big timpani, there's a smaller timpani, and there's a triangle. The bottom row of dots is the big timpani. The middle row of dots is the smaller timpani. And finally, the top is the triangle. And once again, that's by pitch. So the highest instrument's going to be on the top, middle instrument in the middle, and the lowest sounding instrument. So you can actually have them create different kinds of patterns if you want specific things, like if you're working on notation and you want them to create 2 sets of TTs, you could show, you can have them come up with ways to do that, or if you want to do time, or if you just want to see if they can create a different thing, they can go through and play with different instruments as well as different pitches. It's really interesting. Something that my bigger kids would look at would be the Melody Maker, or you could actually do the Song Maker, which is a little bit newer. I'm going to show you the Melody Maker because that's the one that I've actually used. I haven't got to use Song Maker. It just came out the show. So literally this just looks like a grid, but when you click on a box, you will see that it lights up. And because I was talking, you didn't hear it, but it's a pitch. And the higher you move the pitch, the higher the sound. And what you're doing is each block, you're creating a different set of pitches. Now you could actually make a lot of them the same. In fact, in mine example, I'm going to make every other one this bottom teal box. And when you've got something you like, you're simply going to, if I can get there without being able to see it, you're going to push play. So what I use this for is steps, leaps, and repeats in music. So if you had everything on this, you would be, hey, that's a repeat because they're all together. You could teach steps because they're going literally up one by one. Oops. And finally, you could do leaps. So you would start here and then you would jump down there. So anything where there's a box in between them there and they don't look like steps, that's a leap. So from here to here would be a leap, down there would be a leap, down there. And then you can once again listen to it. You can also speed it up. So you can do tempo. You can also add a second set of harmonic boxes, which I do with my older kids. I make them find harmonic melodies that go with it. So those are just a couple. There are tons of them. I would also highly encourage you. This is my kid's favorite one. I'm not going to show it to you because it's hard. It doesn't work well on Screencastify. But Voice Spinner, if you click it and then click the microphone and then talk for about 5 seconds, I think is all you get. It will literally record what you say, and then you can play it, and it'll either go forwards or backwards depending on which side you drag the little tool, and it will either speed up the more you drag it toward the edge. It'll slow down the more you drag it toward the center. It is hysterical. My kids die every time they get to experience it. It works with music so well because you can talk about not only tempo and timbre, because the pitch is going up, your voice is going up as it gets faster and faster and faster. You can also talk about lyrics and how they, integrate, and how can you understand what they're saying, and how sometimes when it's really fast, you have to speak up. So this is my favorite website for teaching. It's called Chrome Music Lab, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.